We don't sleep on men with average income.
I'm not helping him start no business. I'm not waiting on him while he go through college. I got to live my own life.
30.1% of Black women who are 25 years old and older have a bachelor's degree or higher.
When it comes to me, I don't really spend a lot of money on myself.
40 hours a week makes me $2,000 a month, and my rent is $1,660.
I got paid $1,144.85. Y'all, that's every 2 weeks, y'all.
There's not much of a budget because the money was gone before it even hit my account.
Let's talk about how the checks don't even last you 2 full weeks no more.
There's no money in my account. Like, where did the money go?
So I was getting paid every single month, but still feeling broke. What? I used to ask myself, what is going on? Because on paper, a teacher's salary is a steady income. But so many teachers are getting paid and they're still struggling financially. And I was just tired of being in that situation. And a lot of teachers feel the same way because every month it feels like you're starting again. The bills have been paid, but there's no breathing room. And let's say there happen to be an emergency, or you want to have a dream of going on massive holidays. You look at your paycheck and you're like, how do I even manage to actually do that? And that's when I realized that surviving isn't about just expecting a paycheck. It's about building something that gives you more freedom and gives you more options. Don't get me wrong. I personally didn't want more stuff. I just wanted more peace. And that's when I realized that I have to actually look outside of the teaching profession and be able to create something that works alongside my teaching career, because I love my job, I love my students, and I love what I do. I just don't like the paycheck that comes along with it. And that's when I started my business, and it has given me so much more option, so many flexibilities, and now my role is to help other teachers or other moms to be able to achieve the same as well. So if you're like me and you're tired of repeating the same loop month after month after month, where you get paid, you pay the bills, there's nothing left to actually help you.
She finally find her way out, right? But what's gonna happen is in this video today, you're gonna see a bunch of ladies who have no clue where to turn next, right? And that's what most need to do. This is the answer. But you're gonna see though, what happens is they realize it's worse. Well, you guys are gonna realize it's worse than you think. And they realize, I need a man. That's what it comes down to.
Is when you work, but there's no money in your account. Like, there's no money in my account. Like, where did the money go? Where did the money go? I collected 101 shifts. Where's the money? Where's the money?
Money. And this money ain't even getting us by. We spending all this time get these checks, and these checks can't, the checks don't even last. Let's talk about how the checks don't even last you 2 full weeks no more. The check be gone in like 2 days, or it be gone in that first week. It be gone in the first week. We need to talk about how the check be gone within the first week. Literally. It's honestly ridiculous. And to think like you spending 40 hours of your week, or hell, you might be even doing more time and you still don't got enough. You still struggling. That's why I'd rather lose out temporarily on some money if I know that what I'm creating and what I'm doing can lead me to more money. I would rather just take the loss in that moment and just struggle for that little bit, because I'm telling you right now, I done talked to older people. I didn't talk to older people in my family who just stayed working their jobs for years. And now that they in retirement age, or they can't no longer work because of health concerns, literally, like, they regret it. Like, they wish they would have did something other than just give all their time to the job.
Yeah, it's a trap, right? Everybody is chasing the rat race. That's what it's meant for. A rat race. For you to stay in a rat hole. Like, it's wild, because that American dream is not a dream. It's a nightmare. And you see it all over. People want to move to America to make more money. The smart people, they move inside of America and they take full advantage, but they don't realize. Like, I tell it. For instance, where I am now, you'll find Filipinos that want to move to America and they move out there, and how much you paying? Like say they move to Florida, they still paying like around $1,000 a month for rent, or if not more than that. I'm sure much more in certain parts of Florida, or they find themselves living with others. Where I'm paying for my place, I'm gonna have two places for $355. Like seriously, living overseas, this is the way. And I saw it, I realized it. Because before I moved over here and before she became my wife, I'm talking with her and I said, "You paying how much for this? You paying how much for that?" When I heard the prices, right? I said, "Oh man, I need to make a switch." Like where I'm moving to, right? I'm gonna have a place for $150 per month. That's a big difference maker. When you're only paying $150 per month and you can pay off your entire year's rent for what's that, $1,500 for 10 months. People are paying more than that for 1 month of rent. What they're paying for a month, I can pay off for a year and be set. I'd rather choose those odds.
Paycheck with me as somebody who is in a financial hole right now and has no idea how she's about to get out of it because I don't make enough. Really, there's not much of a budget because the money was gone before it even hit my account, to be honest. I got paid $695.16 and rent was $1,300. Now, if you've been keeping up with my car,
$695 of rent is $1,300. Why are you making so little income? Like seriously. But you know, I know right now in the West, it's hard. Your age too, age plays a big difference. And this is what happens when you're independent and you don't need no man. You don't have a covering.
Issues, then you know why I owe this much in rent. So I made a payment of $700 and now I still owe a balance of $600 towards my rent. And so that leaves $689 worth of unpaid expenses, not including laundry, gas, groceries, and all these other things. I have no savings. And so you kind of say I was depressed because this is being filmed 2 weeks later. Because really, these past 2 weeks, I've been just trying to hustle and grind and find ways to like bring in extra income. I actually get paid tonight. So just come back and yeah, I kind of zoned out just there. I don't really know what else to say. I just feel really super defeated. I don't know what the hell to do.
You know, this is where mental problems came in. I gotta talk about it. I'm not gonna talk about it right now in this video, but this causes ladies to pop pills, right? When you're going through this, and it happens to everybody. Some people could be watching right now that this is happening to. It's not just women, right? Men are going through it too. It's crazy in America, but I'll tell you one thing: the difference between men. Men a lot of times get careers they know are going to make a certain amount, right? And they stick with it. A lot of these ladies don't like sticking with anything, or they want something that's easy. They take the easy jobs. I said, where a man doesn't mind taking backbreaking work. I don't expect ladies to take backbreaking jobs, but I expect ladies to have covering. I do. I'm old school like that. And ladies that don't have covering, they regret it later.
How to get up out of this hole, and I really want some new bundles. That's my honest to God truth. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
First thing she focused on is new bundles. Crazy. When your life is
down. So, you know, I got paid on Friday. Let me tell you guys how much money I made. And please, not too much. I get paid every 2 weeks. I know it's not a lot, okay? Y'all, on this upcoming period, I only worked, it's like about like 38 hours a week. I got paid $1,144.85. Y'all, that's every 2 weeks, y'all. First, I got to pay my car note is $973.84. That's leaving me with $171 with 1 cent. Now, y'all, I have a Jeep, and you know Jeeps be giving people problems and stuff, right? So my car warranty a month is $154.04. So I have to pay that. So that leaves me with $16.97. Y'all, damn. I can't even buy me a plate of ribs, macaroni. Okay, y'all, I told you guys I've been doing DoorDash to make it ends meet, right? So on my DoorDash card, I went hard this week. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I made $599.62, right? So boom, I gotta pay for my wisdom tooth, right? I got my wisdom tooth removed, right? And it was $5,000. It was 4 wisdom tooth, $5,000, right? The insurance only covered $3,000, so I had to pay $2,000 out of pocket. So I paid $62 a month. It's been like a year. I'm almost done, like a little bit, just a little bit. So that leaves me with $537.62. Y'all, now it's gas, and I have to put money away for gas every 2 weeks. So basically, it's $130. Every week is $65 in gas. That's a lot, but goddamn, I should have got me a Toyota. Ugh. And next is my credit card, y'all. My balance is literally $900. Like, I maxed. So I just pay the minimum of $40 so I can't like afford to pay the rest. So that leaves me with $407.62. That's kind of crazy, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. And I gotta pay my Afterpay. And y'all, Afterpay, I made a mistake. I started buying Afterpay. But this pay period is I only have to pay $13.37 on Afterpay.
That's the trap. That is the trap. Credit. Don't fall for it. Young lady, run. Things that offer you something and you can pay it back later, run. That happened to me too. I first got a credit card. I said, oh, I made it. But I'm happy. I didn't really get into credit cards too bad in the West, right? I ran up like around $5,000 on one credit card, and then I stopped it. And actually, I was dealing with trade lines at SCN, so I was running up things that weren't my credit. I was the worst when I was back home, but I was doing things to take advantage of the system, but I'm not doing it anymore.
It was on Fashion Nova, and I only bought like one thing. But then, y'all, Affirm, y'all. I literally pay $52 a month plus, y'all. Y'all, after I pay my credit card, whatever, right? That leaves the balance to $367.62, right? Boom. Okay, cool. Now I gotta pay Afterpay. I bought something on Fashion Nova. I only bought one thing, and that leaves me with $354.25. Then I have Affirm, which is I pay $56.03. So that leaves me with $298.22. Now, y'all, I have a debt with Affirm. I owe like probably $1,300, something like that. My first payment was on Amazon. It's $131.75. That leaves me with $166.40.
And this is what happens. This is why ladies turn around and say, if you ain't paying the bill, this is what happens. This is why they really need a man. If you're not paying, and it starts young. And she got that look too, right? The finger waves going. And she got that look like she'll turn around and say, pick a bill. You want to get with me? Pick a bill.
7 cents. Now I got an other payment for Affirm is $131.54. That leaves me for 2 weeks with $34.73 for 2 weeks, y'all. Let me get here and go on DoorDash, okay? I need to make money.
24-year-old starting over with nothing. This is for the ones that was like, oh, you make a lot of money. Where you work? What you you cannot make that type of money if you're not busting your behind. Literally, this particular pay period, I did not bust my behind. I did 0 overtime and I missed 1 day. Don't get on me too bad about that 1 day, y'all. We all need that 1 day. Come on. No, but I'm not missing no more days. December, we busting it all month. Anyways, my check was $1,115. I paid my $351 car payment. I put $170 towards my insurance. I paid my phone bill, which was $55. Thank God it's low, and I'm not with T-Mobile or none of that hot mess. I put $70 aside for gas. That's for 2 weeks, y'all. Savings, I put $100. I'm not doing a lot because I got a lot to do. I went ahead and applied to an apartment. That was $99. I broke my phone earlier this week. That was $122. Food and miscellaneous is $100, and I have $48 left over. Bear with me, y'all. Bye.
Houston, who's a really good follow on here. I want to read it because it is something I think about so often, and I want to read some replies, and then let's chat. I have a negative net worth because of student loan payments and a mortgage, she writes. And if my husband and I could go back to our federal jobs with the salaries we had and retire doing that, we would be so very happy. I don't understand why millionaires and billionaires want so much. We know they don't need it, but why do they want it? I genuinely do not want that and cannot understand the mentality. So here are some of the replies. The richer they get, their reference group actually shrinks relative to normal people. So they're no longer comparing their wealth against all of us normies, they're comparing their wealth against their small, 1%. Also, the competition for the highest number becomes detached from material changes in their lives. Which reminds me of another reply that I think about constantly, What is the actual life difference between being worth $100 million and being worth $50 million? It is nothing like 30K and 100K. You feel that. You feel that difference daily. But do you feel the difference between 50 and 100 million? Okay, this one also, and then we'll keep going. This person writes, I'll never forget laying out a business plan to someone and them peppering me with questions about why I wanted to pay entry-level people so much and how I'd be maximizing profits. When I explained that profit maximization wasn't the goal of the project, he looked at me and said, in all seriousness, well, you'll never be able to buy a plane with that mindset. I do not want a plane. Oh, also in that thread chain, someone linked to this article, Inside the Brain of the Billionaire Visionary from Fortune. And they ask some really interesting questions, such as, what makes a person with the savvy to amass such a spectacular fortune so erratic? Is there something about that pile of millions or billions that drives a person to distraction? Or is it any...
Yeah, see, that's one thing you shouldn't do. She's blaming millionaires and billionaires. I will not lie, I was like that once before. When you're broke, the first thing you do is say, tax the rich, we need to make them pay. But one thing I realized, once I started thinking outside of the box, once I started doing certain things I do now, I figured out how to even the rich don't pay taxes. A lot of people need to know how the rich do not pay taxes, right? And I teach this for $25. I teach people how to hire people to work jobs for them. You pay them $5, you get 15, 25, or $25 or 30, sometimes even more than that. I also teach people how to work online. You can get everything I do for $125. But doing this, what you're doing is you're putting a Band-Aid on a problem, saying it's their fault. And that's not going to fix open heart surgery that's needed.
Someone with the guts and creativity to make billions just more likely to be a little strange in the first place. Trying to get at, why are rich people, doing the most in the weirdest way? And you can see all the examples they give, throughout history and current day, going to space and, just doing... But get this is the kicker. So from Boston College, they survey 1,000 people, each worth at least 25 million, and they all described feelings of anxiety, dissatisfaction, and perplexingly, financial insecurity. And I think this is the conversation.
I'm going to stop it right there, right? Because the same thing you said about billionaires, people that are poor, a lot of times struggle with that worse. That's why you have so many pill poppers running around today. I was stressed out back in the day. Before I thought, and I was doing things I'm doing now, I was stressed. It's one of those things. You have people that love money too much, causes stress, and people that don't make money at all, causes stress. You want to be right in the middle, right? To where you trust God with everything you do. Because God tells you, diversify your income. Put your money in 7 or 8 different things, because you never know what evil will come upon this earth. Ecclesiastes 11:2. It's so true. You look at all the great people of the Bible, Job even. Satan said God provided you with everything, right? That man lost it all, gained it all again. I teach about diversifying your income, getting into 7, 8 different things. It's not just about working online. People like her need to learn or stay lost forever.
Hours a week just so I can have a place to live. 40 hours a week makes me $2,000 a month, and my rent is $1,660. So I work 40 hours a week so I can have a 2-bedroom apartment, and an extra $300 a month. Like, it doesn't cover my phone, internet, food, you know? So not only do I not have any extra money, but just working makes me so exhausted that I don't have time either. Like, I get off work at 5:30, come home, and I'm just so tired. Anything that I need to do outside of work, I then just push off to like the weekend, and I'm like, I'm just too tired to do this after work. I'll wait until Saturday. So then I end up with so much to do on the weekend that ends up having to be split into 2 days. So I have to do stuff on both Saturday and Sunday. So then I don't get a day off. I don't get a day to relax. I don't get to decompress. So it is really like working 7 days a week.
You know what it is? Ladies are not meant to work. I'm sorry, guys. I need Jay. You saying they need a man's covering? They do. I gotta say this, all right? When I was younger, when I was around her age, I was the hustle man. Anybody that knows me, they know that, right? I had a full-time job, but I worked 7 days a week. And I did it with a smile. And why do I say that? Because that's what a man can do. I worked 7 days a week with a smile, right? I went to work 40 hours a week and then every day after work. So I worked from 9 to 5 and then after work, I worked from 6 to 12. Got up the next day, did it all over again. So pretty much I worked from 9 to 12 every day, like clockwork. And then on the weekends, I worked all day long. I may have enjoyed maybe 6 hours to myself each weekend day to sleep, but I didn't mind it because it brought income and I wasn't stressed out with money, right? I was happy doing that. I love what I do.
My weekly paycheck as a mom of 2 working a fast food job, and I am on a very, very strict budget. So let's start with my job. I got paid $340.87, and I did work some Instacart this week, and I have made $45.20. So altogether that leaves me at $385.20. So today I am paying rent. My rent is $205. So that's most of my paychecks. So that kind of sucks, but it's okay. We need to pay it. So that's paid for, and that leaves me with $180.20. Last paycheck, I gave myself $65 for groceries, and I did pretty well with that. So I'm just going to give myself the same budget, $65. Same thing for gas. I gave myself $40, and typically I just fill my car up once a week with $40, and it lasts me throughout the week. Eating out / coffee, this is the one I changed a little bit. I had to cut that one. I had budget cuts, and eating out was affected. So I gave myself $25. So for fun, it's going to be $40, and I had $18 left over from my last budget. So I'm just gonna put those together, and altogether it comes out to $58. This paycheck, I need like some skincare and makeup. And for that, I am just using the rest of what I have left, and that is $10.20. So if you guys know me, I buy everything very cheap, and especially when it comes to me, I don't really spend a lot of money on myself. So I'll probably just go to like TJ Maxx or maybe even the dollar store to get what I need. I've been shopping at the dollar store lately for like hair products and stuff, because when you are budgeting and you're on a very strict budget, you gotta just go with the cheapest stuff sometimes, guys. You just gotta do it. But that is this week's budget video. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll see you in the next one.
So my nursing paycheck with me is a nurse that works in Florida. I have been a nurse for 5 years. I work in the ICU. I took home $2,496.42 on this pay period. That was with working overtime. It was a total of 85.6 hours of work. The bills that I have left over to pay are my electric bill, $104.46, Wi-Fi, $80, phone, $30, my car payment, $500, I round that up, gas, $200, my car insurance, had to renew it on the 10th of October, much cheaper than it was. It is $585, so per month it's $97.50. Maintenance for the car, $53. SunPass, $15. Food and any supplies for the house, battery, sponges, laundry detergent, soap, $360. Amazon account, $15.13. Gym membership, $26.35. A pedicure once a month, $60. And then I have two dogs. They're 75, 80 pounds. They're 8 and 9 years old. Their food for the month is $90. Their medication, so flea tick, heartworm, $30. I have a dog walker come because I'm gone for 15 hours out of the day. That's a necessity, everybody. $240 a month, and then I set aside $40 for their vet bills because I hate going to the vet and it's like $4,000 just for them to like look at them. Oh, and then I had to buy curtains because there's this like creepy guy that walks by my apartment and we've locked eyes way too many times. So for my own safety, I got curtains, and that was $200 because it was my bedroom and my living room. But yeah, I am grateful. I obviously worked for this because I picked up overtime. But yeah, that's my paycheck. The last video I posted about this was eye-opening because everyone was telling me that I should just split my rent up between 2 checks or whatever. And as much as I appreciate that suggestion, respectfully, that wouldn't actually matter. Like, it's going to be the same amount anyway. But I also have like a savings account, so I'm not going into the red, everybody. Like, don't worry. And I'm grateful that I'm like able to currently pick up overtime. I'm pretty sure they're going to take that away soon, which will be great. But yeah, that's how much I make as a nurse in Florida. So, be warned.
The stats that I'm about to read off are really going to piss me off, and it might piss you off as well, but let's do it, and then we'll talk about it later. So, according to blackdemographics.com, Black men earn on average $54,756 per year, and Black women earn $48,984 per year. Here's another stat for y'all, okay? This is for degrees in education. 30.1% of Black women who are 25 years old and older have a bachelor's degree or higher, compared to Black men, which is 23% on average.
Welcome to the new world.
Who have a bachelor's degree or higher, who's 25 and older. I'm annoyed about these stats because I decided to do the research after hearing the conversations about classism in our community, just to find out that this is where we are. And y'all talking about classism and who you can and can't date because they don't make this much and Baby, we all need to do better. We all need to do better as a collective. And granted, we know there are reasons as to why. But for us to act like we are above thou when on average together we make $52,000? Like, are we serious?
Those with the average income are in my comments and they are upset at me because they feel as if women sleep on average brothers. We don't sleep on men with average income. Are we blind? I just knew for me, I can't do no average man's income.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
You see, they get older and they want more. But lady, more isn't there. There are some guys, because you can see in the comments, some Black men make it. A lot of Black men make it. I made it. But why would a man that made it deal with you? Seriously. Why would a man that has know-how deal with somebody that has no clue? These ladies are not thinking. Men don't want to be bothered at all. Why would a lion date a rat? That's what it is. A lion dating lions don't date rats. They date lionesses. Deep.
My living expenses is beyond average. And as a matter of fact, in one of my videos, I said the average Black man income in America is 45. Y'all, the 22 census last year, girl, it got lower. Now it's 35. And I'm like, 35? In the Northeast? In New York? In New Jersey? Oh, no, child. So, brothers, we're not sleeping.
No, it can't be 35. They wouldn't be able to live. Of course, it's higher in the Northeast and higher in Jersey. Let me let her talk.
And on you, you just have to
I
find
can't.
a woman that is okay with your average income, because a maid is a choice. But there are a lot of us out here, we're like,
I ain't Barbara the Builder. I'm not building with no man. I'm not falling in love with a man behind his potential. I'm not waiting on a man to build himself up off my back. I'm not helping him start no business. I'm not waiting on him while he go through college. I got to live my own life. How many times have we heard that? But these are the same women that will be at the end. Oh, I heard you got drafted. Congratulations. You know, it's crazy because I always had a crush on you. You wasn't checking for me. You wasn't shooting with me when I was in the gym.
Yep.
I understand why these men be like, you didn't want to hold me down while I built this, but you want the benefit of the hard work. It's crazy to me. Some women, not all, but there are so many women that want to come in.
Yeah, and I had to cut her, but shout out to Life in the Ash Lane. She's so right. And yeah, when I went across these waters and I left because my wife showed me she was ready to help me. Like I'll give you an example. I show guys a lot of times that I moved overseas from working online, right? But before I moved overseas, the contract I moved over with, sometimes when I couldn't work, my wife would get on the internet after being a teacher, and she worked double time as a teacher. Like she sometimes worked after school and did help the kids study, so she got extra money for that. And then she would come home sometimes. It was one time for a week she worked like 3 hours for me. Think about it, guys. She gets up early for school, worked from like 7 all the way to like 5, 6, then came home like around 9 o'clock. Worked for me for 3 hours. What did that show me? You think anybody over in the West was doing that? I'm not working for you. I've been there. So I needed help. Help me out. So you think when I got over here and saw The Price is Right? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Price is Right. You're in the Philippines. I'm over here in 2015. And I was one of the first of my kind, right? Because I came over here on my own recognizance, not retired or nothing. Seriously, grinding. I came over here as a grinder. So many guys said, you'll never make it working online. That's what the old expats told me. You never gonna make it. I went through racism. It was crazy back in the day. I came at a harsh time to be an expat. I did it. 30-something years old, 34-year-old. I heard in the Philippines. Why? Because I had somebody to back me up. I was getting tired. I was leaving this and came to this. And you know what I can say now? Everything that I have, praise the Lord. Faith cries are the best of your portions. Right? Because I got with her through Christ. I got with her because she believed how I believed. So who put that together? Right? Because Christ speaks about hard work. Hard work. It pays off. Not being idle. Right? He put that relationship together. And that's what men are waiting for. But yeah, guys, thank y'all for watching. Peace out. See you next video.
Hold the line. Stay with me.
The Iceman is coming.
Winter is here.